Hi, I'm ACOS Jankura. Have you ever noticed that really great realtors have this great confidence? I mean, they walk into the room and they're just confident, and the customers follow along. They trust them, they follow every word because the realtor is driving the bus. They're in control of the transaction, they haven't lost control of it. In fact, I call that the higher power. It's just like, it reminds me of, I was at this place and there was a guy named Joe. And I'm an old guy and I'm trying to print something, right? Have you ever done this? Print. Nothing. Print. Still nothing. Then I spent a half an hour trying to figure out printer drivers and this and this thing, and then I just finally give up after a half an hour of my time, and I say, "Hey Joe, can you fix my printer?" And he comes over, printing. Who's the higher power of the printer? Joe, right? So have you ever been that way? You've got a guy, right? You say that, I got a guy for that. You know why? Because that guy is the higher power. Like for example, when I'm talking about like the security of the internet in my building, I got a guy. He's my higher power for the security of the building. When I'm talking about accounting and I'm talking about 1030, all these accounting terms, I don't try to figure it out. I got a guy. All right, he's the higher power of my tax return, right? So you have to become the higher power of the real estate transaction. And this is really tough to do if you don't know what you're doing, right? So actually what's interesting about this can be taught, right? It's just a structure. I thought about this a long time ago when I thought, why is that guy so confident? Why has that guy got such presence in the room? Well, I'll tell you something. I realized there was a pattern and they follow certain steps. The first step, remember the video, and if you haven't seen it, I want you to watch the video on rapport, right? Earning the rapport of the customer. And rapport started with common ground. Remember what we did? Hello, notice things, listen for things, hit the common ground. And when you hit the common ground, you're still not there yet until they ask you a question and they're trying to engage you. That's the signal you have rapport. Remember that video? If you haven't seen it, go back and watch the video on the rapport part, okay? Now, that's number one. Number two is once you have rapport, you have to have higher power, right? You have to become that trusted advisor. Now, how do you become the trusted advisor? This is important stuff. It doesn't happen by accident, and it doesn't happen because you were born with it. It happens because you do a certain specific things that lead to that trusted higher power or that trusted authority for that real estate transaction. Let me give you an example of how I do it. When I'm showing a house, right? Let's say I've got a buyer with me and I'm showing a house, right? This is important. I have an iPad with me or some kind of a tablet. You can have a tablet. I suggest not a computer because tablets are easier. Have a tablet with you, and my tablet is already ready to go and it's loaded. And you might say, your tablet's loaded? What do you mean? I have always 3 points of light ready to show a customer about price. This might be the most important information you've received in coaching in real estate. Say, ACOS, what are you talking about 3 points of light on price? Well, I've learned something. That the customer who interacts with me as a buyer, right, sooner or later during that showing will bring up price in some form. They would say things like, hey, do you think this place is worth the $250? Hey, what do you think this place is worth? Oh man, this is way too much money. I wouldn't give them this much for it. Always some sentence, always some statement that it comes to price. Oh, this has been on the market so long, it can't be worth what they're asking. I wonder what it's really worth, right? You've all had that. As real estate agents, you've all had that customer. And I'm telling you, it happens during the showing, and you can just sit there and wait for it. But you don't just wait for it, I'm ready for it. That's the key. And on my tablet, I have 3 points of light that point to the price, right? I have 3 tabs ready to go. I use, and you can use your own tabs. This is what I use. I use Stellar, my MLS has a thing called Realist on it, and I type in the Realist report. And on the Realist report, it has this confidence score of 93% of what they think the price is worth, and they have a standard deviation. Now, my father, he was a real expert on statistics. So I know what standard deviation is. Not that I wanted to, but when I was in university, he forced it on me because that was his specialty in school. So the standard deviation, if the number's bigger, it's kind of less trustworthy. If the number's small, it's really trustworthy. So let's say it says $293,000, 93% confidence score, and 4% standard deviation. That's a pretty solid number, right? So I have the realist report that has this information ready to go on a tab. Number one, okay? Number two, I would do comps, right? I don't know how you do comps, but you can do comps in all kinds of ways you want to, right? I use my MLS comps, and I show the comps for dollars per square foot, and I show what the sales value has been, what's expired, and then I have some comp presentation ready to go, which my conclusion is I can pinpoint what this price is worth sort of accurately, all right? Number two. Number three, now I'm a RE/MAX agent, so I have something called Present. I'll go in there and look at the Present thing, how to win the offer, and that's kind of a really great tool. Now you might have your own thing in your own brokerage that comes up with these numbers, right? I know there's good technology out there, especially with AI, good technology. But the point I want to do is I want you to have 3 points of light. The 3 is important. Do not do 1 point of light. Do not do 2 points of light. Let me tell you something. I used to do commercials. I used to be on television in front of the camera, and as I got older, I used to be a writer for television commercials, and we used to look at media buying strategies. And we believe, and I think it's a really good belief, that the customer didn't pay attention to something until they heard it for the 3rd time. So you better hit them from 3 different places, right? And otherwise, and they always say, a lie becomes the truth after you've heard it for the 3rd time. That's a crazy thing, and I think that's actually a strategy that some PR people use. However, 3 points of light gives the customer confidence that you might know what you're talking about. So, I got these 3 tabs ready on my tablet, and I'm showing the house. And eventually, what happens? Always, hey Gus, do you think this place is worth $250? Now, when they set it up, remember the engagement thing on rapport? It's not rapport until they engage you on the question. Same thing happens here with the higher power part. It's not effective until they ask you that question. What do you think it's worth? Or they say, well, what's this place really worth? Or they come up with a question to you which basically says, hey, how much is this place really worth? So here's how I answer the question. We'll call them Bill and Mary. Bill and Mary, when I was waiting for you in the car, I was thinking the same thing. You see, I'm a broker. Sometimes I spend a lot of time with my agents making sure they get the pricing right. So I got, some tools. And I thought to myself, if I were selling this place, how much would I sell it for? Right? Let me show you. Realist report. I got it right here on the tablet. 246, 93% confidence. But I just want opinion. I like to have more than one opinion. Here's another tab. Oh, this is called a comparative SCR, comparative market thing. So I compare what's been sold, what hasn't been sold, what's pending, what's active, and then I come up with an analysis, dollars per square foot, big formula. Anyways, I can figure out based on what's going on around here in the last 90 days what this place is probably worth. And this is the number for that. But 2 opinions, it's just 2 opinions. Let me give you the 3rd opinion. And here's the 3rd opinion. 3 points of light, right? Watch. And then, by the way, those numbers are probably pretty close, right? If they have any value. They're pretty usually within $10,000, $20,000 of each other. And then I show them this information and say, it doesn't matter what I think it's worth. The only thing matters here is what you think it's worth. So after seeing this, what do you think it's worth? What did I just do? I'm closing. I'm asking them for what their offer is. Let me ask you a question. Who's higher power now? Who's the authority in the room for the real estate transaction? I'll tell you who. The guy who prepared, or the girl who prepared the 3 points of light on price. How are you doing it? I'm going to tell you something. I have agents in my office that I sometimes go out with them on these calls, and I had one guy, I don't want to pick on him, so I won't tell you his name, but he had 1 point of light. I got in the car with him, I says, okay, thanks for having, at least listening to me as far as being prepared for something, but 1 point of light isn't an opinion. They didn't believe you. When they showed 3 points of light, they started believing in the prices you were showing them. Why did you fall short of that? And I got to tell you, let me give that agent credit. He's more prepared than most agents watching this video. But if you have 3 points of light in your tablet ready to go, you can earn that. You can earn the higher power designation in that real estate transaction. You become the expert. So remember how I said rapport equals common ground? Higher power equals unique information. That's the takeaway. Make sure you have unique information. Information the customer couldn't pick up on their own. I have this is just the price part. I can show you 5 or 6 different ways to show unique information on other parts of the transaction. This is how you earn your commission. This is how you can stand up to making sure you get the commission that you desire. This is how, listen, I'm going to tell you something. All my transactions, I mean, the agents in town go, I only got this much for my commission. How come you got more? Because I earned it. I have had customers go at the closing table say, well, the title company points out, that guy's only getting 2%. You're paying 3% for your guy. You okay with that? I've had that happen. And my customer goes, of course I'm okay with that. Oh my gosh, you should see the work that man did. He earned every penny of it. Higher power. With higher power comes higher commissions. With higher power becomes more comfort for your family, more freedom for you, and more confidence when you walk in the room. Anyways, if you would like more coaching ideas, I want you to subscribe to this channel. Subscribe to the channel. If you're watching this on Facebook, I want you to like, I want you to follow, right? Follow, like, and subscribe. And if you want some personal coaching, just reach out to me in the YouTube channel. My email address is out there. Just reach out to me. I do coaching. I love doing coaching with people. All I want to do is make everybody a great realtor. And I want your families to be happy, and I want you to be happy. Anyways, my name's Jankura, and this is Real Estate Coaching with ACOS.